If it's Thursday, that means it's the Palm Rat Road in Plate Series, and tonight it's the championship finale coming to you live from Talladega Superspeedway. Welcome, race fans. I'm Ellis Thomas, joined by Justin Wilson and producer Johnny Rapp here in the Slingshot Racing Media booth. It's the ARCA cars at Talladega, a place where the draft rules, nerves get shredded, and any slip can end with a dozen torn up race cars. 30-plus drivers have battled all season long. And it all comes down to this. One last chance to finish the season on the high banks of Talladega. Buckle up, it's going to be wild. Dega, as many fans have affectionately called Talladega Superspeedway, holds the title of the longest oval track in all of NASCAR, stretching an impressive 2.66 miles. That extra length means drivers can let their engines roar like nowhere else, building incredible speeds. They're going to keep fans on the edge of their seats and drivers on the edge of their seats tonight. When NASCAR founder Bill France Sr. first dreamed of building a super speedway even larger than Daytona, he tried to make it happen in North Carolina. When that plan stalled out, he scouted locations along Interstate 20, eyeing Atlanta and Birmingham, before fate finally led him to an old airfield in Lincoln, Alabama. That's where his vision took shape, and on September 13th, 1969, the Alabama International Motor Speedway officially opened its gates. The rest, as they say, is history. Over more than half a century, Talladega has developed a reputation not just for speed, but for the strange and downright eerie. Many whispered that the track is cursed, supposedly built on an ancient Native American burial ground. During the 1973 Talladega 500, in fact, just after the Rookie of the Year Larry Smith tragically lost his life in a crash, veteran driver Bobby Isaac suddenly pulled into the pits in the middle of the race. He climbed out and announced he was done. Right then and there, he claimed he heard a mysterious voice telling him to get out of the car, and he listened. Justin, there's no doubt that Talladega is home to some of the wildest 3 and even 4 wide racing you're going to see, not to mention spectacular and sometimes terrifying crashes. Whether there's truly something supernatural in the soil or it's just the nature of racing here at Talladega, these drivers are going to need a bit of luck, or maybe the blessing of the spirits to survive this race intact. What are you expecting to see from those drivers out here tonight?
Well, I definitely am not expecting to see ghosts or spirits, okay? We're going to leave those away, but we are going to see tonight some exciting racing. These ARCA cars put on a great show. You get the runs, and my favorite part about these cars is just if you have a good group of guys, you can take it to that outside wall, drive past everybody, and make those slingshot moves on the outside. So curious to see what these drivers are going to do. You know, as we have tonight, we have heat races, or a heat race slash that feature. So the heat race, they're probably going to kind of practice their moves, right? And then we're going to see them executed in that race tonight.
Lots of opportunity for actions, lots of opportunity for mixing it up, lots of opportunity for mistakes. Those are all going to be stories we talk about here shortly. And for the fans watching at home, we've got those stories coming to you. We appreciate it already, Justin. We've got super chats happening right now. Thank you, Ernie. Says, VK fan for life. We're going to have to watch out for Derek on the track tonight if he is racing. I'm looking to see if he's in here now. We'll be following him if he shows up. Thanks for tuning in. Everybody, you can subscribe or give us a super chat, and we'll talk about your driver who you would request live on air here shortly. But before all of that, before all the action happens, it's time for everyone's favorite pre-race tradition, the playing of the national anthem. Everyone rise and remove your caps if able. We'll be back on the other end of the anthem. Back here live from Talladega Superspeedway, getting ready for the Road and Plate season finale. Justin, lots of things happening tonight. One of the biggest things is we're going to crown a champion. Aaron Smith has already locked up the championship, but there is tight fights all the way through the field that could very well be settled tonight outside of the title. How does that change how drivers are going to race in terms of aggression? Are they going to be aggressive? What do you expect to see out of these guys early tonight, whether it's in the sprint or the feature later on?
I expect to see, because I mean, a super speedway like this, it's, you know, you can be aggressive. You can make those moves to try to capitalize the positions and the points as you move forward. Like, so some of these guys like Samuel Stoner and Michael Krueger, where they're only separated by just a few points in this race, they know who they're racing in this race. They know they have to stay in front of that, you know, that guy that they're battling. But, you know, to kick back, you know, Aaron Smith just dominated this season. You know, congratulations to him. But I wouldn't count him out on this race either.
And speaking of knowing who you're racing out there, these folks are going to have teammates. Teammates are a big, integral, critical part of restrictor plate or super speedway racing. If you don't have a teammate, you could find yourself in trouble early and late over the course of the race. Talk to us about why that's so important, Justin.
Well, I mean, that's one of the stories of the race, right? Teamwork. So super speedways, and I love super speedways. You can only do so much by yourself. You can get yourself in those positions, but at the end of the day, whether it's a teamwork of a driver that's a part of your team, or somebody you're just, you know, picking up there in the middle of the race, right? You have to rely, you have to trust that individual, or push those cars or get pushed by those drivers to even have a shot to win this race tonight. So teamwork is number one.
speaking of having shots, you also not only have to have a teammate, but you got to make it through the big one. We were talking in pre-race, we talked to several drivers. They expect to see, quote unquote, the big one. What exactly does that mean here at Talladega?
Wow, Talladega, everyone knows, well, at least most race fans, but those who aren't, big in racing, Talladega, we're inches from each other. 30 cars, in this case, I think we got 20 tonight, are all just under a blanket. One mistake or one bad bump, one, lane change that's not clear can just cause a chain reaction of everyone in the field crashing. So that is that big one. It's always, avoiding the big one is a key, but also not causing the big one is also a key role.
And speaking of big ones, one thing is left to be decided tonight. We talked about how the title fight had kind of come to a conclusion last week. Aaron Smith has just had a lights-out performance for all 9 races this season. But drivers also were participating in a bracket challenge that saw them face off in a bracket-style elimination tournament over the course of this season. In the final 2 drivers, unsurprisingly, Aaron Smith's in there, but Michael Krueger headed right head-to-head with Aaron Smith. Best finishing driver tonight's going to take home a $50 check. Does that put any pressure on either one of those drivers? Is it going to change the way we see Aaron Smith drive with a little bit extra cash on the line, and Michael Krueger as well?
I mean, Aaron Smith won. Ain't nothing going to change. Man's won 10 races this season. He's looking at hitting a number 11. That $50 check is going to look great for him. But Krueger, right, he's also battling for the points for some drivers, but he sees that $50. He knows Aaron is the most dominant driver on the circuit right now in the series. So he's going for that win just so he can prove that he can beat Aaron.
It's going to be a wild night. We'll be keeping an eye on driver number 40 and driver number 70. If you're in the chat, let us know what driver you're rooting for tonight, whether that's Krueger, Smith, or maybe someone else completely all together out of those 25 drivers who are going to grid up. By the way, say hi in the chat. Let's keep the conversation going. Let us know, what is interesting you in this race, what you want to see, what driver you want to focus on. We're going to be giving away a free Brad Keselowski, a great master at Talladega in the draft. We're going to be giving away a Brad Keselowski diecast to one lucky fan at home. We'll send it to you absolutely free. Just say hi in the chat and be an active chatter. We'll give an award to the most active chatter, the fan of the race, so to speak, by the time this thing is over tonight. Speaking of over, it hasn't even got started yet, but it is time. It is now time to, let's talk about the format real quick, Justin. It's a 16-lap heat, okay, that we're watching the starting grid scroll across the screen right now for. What's the importance of this heat in terms of drivers maybe getting a feel for the race car, the moves they can make, but also what role does it play in setting up the main feature, the money race tonight?
Well, I mean, yeah, our heat race here is going to determine where we're going to start in the feature minus the top 10 invert that we have. So yeah, winner of this heat race, it does affect against points, but also they have that 10 position invert. So who wins this race tonight? We'll be starting 10 tonight. I mean, it's a super speedway, so really where you start doesn't quite matter. But the biggest thing is in this heat race, these drivers are kind of get a get out of jail free card. For instance, if a mistake is made, that is the time to learn, because as we all know in iRacing, we do get that reset for this race. So I anticipate a lot of aggression and a lot of moves that we might not see in the race, just to see if these drivers have that comfort level in these cars.
Do you think the final couple of laps with the kind of the interesting format where the top 10 will be inverted and sent to the back of the field for the start of the main feature race, do you think we could see things get a little bit crazy in those final laps as drivers try to kind of solidify their position, set themselves up for a good starting spot?
It's possible. I mean, I know I would definitely do that at a road course, but that's just me. But at a super speedway, I don't think so. I think these drivers, they know anybody in this field has a shot to win. They have a shot to win even just in a heat race. These drivers are going to take it.
Man, it is going to be an interesting one to follow over the course of much of this evening. Right now, you watch the starting grid for this heat scroll across the screen. It's Aaron Smith, followed by Dustin Bally, and that number 24. Jay Bast and Robert Brobst are going to make up row number 2. And you saw the rest of the field scroll across the screen. We'll go over that starting grid for the main feature later on in this race. You said, Justin, that starting spots right now don't really matter a whole lot because a lot is going to go down over the course of the next 16 laps or so. There's no time to collect your breath. There's no time to get settled, because as soon as you look up, the race is going to be getting the white flag. So lots of pressure on these drivers tonight. And like we mentioned, this is the season finale of the Road and Plate Series before they head into their summer series. Drivers going to be looking for bragging rights here, trying to get a win. And this is a unique series. This is our first time calling a race for them, but it's a cool concept. Road races and restrictor plate or super speedway races only. So kind of an opposite ends of the spectrum, really testing the skill and the fortitude of these drivers. Justin, I feel like you could handle this series because you're so good on road courses, but excellent on those super speedways as well.
Man, I'm going to tell you what, I'm definitely nowhere near as good as I used to be, but I still got a knack for them super speedways, though. I do enjoy running them. They're stressful at times, but they're fun. Road courses, on the other hand, I got some work to do. I've gotten rusty over the years.
Well, you're definitely better than me, and these drivers are going to put on quite a show tonight. Justin, if you are in the pit box for one of these drivers, what are you coaching them? What are you telling them as the crew chief, as the spotter, as the coach, how to buckle in for 16 laps of racing? Are there any tips that you're trying to put into the driver's ear before this green flag flies?
Personally, for me in this heat race, I would be telling my driver just to go out there, have fun, take those risks that you normally wouldn't take in, the normal race, because there is that bit of a reset. Not that you want to ruin anybody's heat races, but this is the time to learn the car. In practice, we didn't really see a lot of big group practicing, so now the whole field is together. We'll see that. I'll probably see some drivers, try that third lane, because there is a lot of speed up there, as I've seen in previous races. So, this is mostly a learning here. You're not going to buckle in until that race hits.
A little bit of practice. We suspect we'll see some contact, some collisions, maybe even the big one. Right now, drivers making their way through turns 3 and 4. It's Aaron Smith and Dustin Bolly on the front row. They're going to have 23 more cars breathing down the back of their necks here in just about 20 seconds or so. Aaron Smith slowly leads the field down that long front straightaway here at Talladega Superspeedway. The pace car pulls off. They head through the infield, and this start-finish line uniquely is a little bit further down the track, not like Daytona right in the middle of the tri-oval. There's the green for the first time tonight. We are live racing here at Talladega for the Road and Plate season finale. Aaron Smith gets a big old bump from Jay Bass in that number 53 with the 12 of James Moore right behind them. The inside line stacks up just a little bit. That's Dustin Bolly on the 24 with Robert Brobst in that orange and blue number 5 as they sail down the back straightaway for the first time tonight.
Yeah, these drivers are now, you can see here down the back straightaway, already looking at and trying out that third lane, already going 3 wide, but they're actually going to kind of settle back down. But everybody's starting to look for their teammates, even just for this little 16-lap heater here.
One car goes high, 3 wide now. That is the 3. I believe that is the 3 of White. He slides back just a little bit in that blue machine, the only car 3 wide at this point. Aaron Smith out front, single car on the inside in that number 70 yellow machine. But Dustin Bolly with a big push from Robert Probst climbs the banking to the outside. Bolly backs out of it, maybe looking for a teammate, or maybe just looking for a little bit of room to breathe as the rest of field moves underneath him through turns 1 and 2, now onto the back straightaway.
Yeah, it definitely looked like Dustin just kind of wanted to just fall to the back. 16 laps may sound like a short race, but it is a long way around this racetrack. 16 solid laps around here is about a good 20-minute race.
A little bit of contact there. That was the 12 of Moore in the 5 of Brope side-by-side contact. The inside stacked up just a little bit, but both drivers gathered it back together. That's Laura Wiseman in the 84. She looks to climb a position starting back in the 8th position. Laura is now up to 4th.
Oh, we got a little bit heavy contact back here with our Michael Krueger, one of our bracket drivers here. Him and Dustin Bolly got into it pretty big there. That 3 wide that he's in now was forced. Dustin slammed into the back of him, got him squirrely, and just got underneath the 18. Good heads-up driving. Oh, as he hits the wall there a little bit out of 2. Good heads-up driving for him from that group there.
And Campbell in the number 18 collects the wall just a little bit. He's going to slip back 8 positions. The 40, you mentioned Michael Krueger on the inside there in that black and red number 40. He's trying to give way and pick up Samuel Stoner not too far in front of him. The pack is tight right now, 2 wide racing through much of the field. Brobst is now the lead car on the outside. He's got a bit of help from the number 7, that number 7 of Evan Hoopshake. One car moves out of line. That's Dustin Bolly to the outside, forcing 3 wide for the second or third time tonight. Another car goes with him. That, I believe, is the one of Benson Weaver up the field. Benson started way back, I believe, 20th, right around. He's up about 8 positions so far early on. Now on lap 4 of 16, a quarter of the way through this sprint race to set the field for the main feature tonight.
Yeah, I don't know if you're noticing a lot of it, Ellis, but these drivers are starting to get a little bit more comfortable, here. Now they're starting these 3 wide battles, and it just completely stacks up the entire field as they go 3 wide. Is somebody back here in the back is getting squirrely? If I'm not mistaken, was that the 42 of Josh Coppernall?
That was the 42 of Josh Coppernall. Maybe had a little bit of help. I would have to go back and look, but you mentioned it. It looked like we were about to have the first caution of the evening there, but for the better hands of Josh Coppernall, who hangs on to it and gets right back into the fight, tucked up right back to the bumper of Michael Krueger, about 6 rows back, 3 wide. It's 3 wide, 6 rows deep here at Talladega as they come down the back straightaway for the 5th time tonight. The 65 of Stoner with a big push from the 5 of Brobst, and not far behind them, Evan Hoopchak. Brobst takes it to the middle by Stoner, but up top it's Dustin Bolly in the number 1 of Benson Weaver climbing the banking. Stoner down across the apron. Almost big trouble there, Justin.
No, I know these guys, the drivers, are getting really, really tight. We're not even halfway through this heat race, but one thing I've noticed so far is that outside line, as I mentioned earlier, has a lot of speed. Samuel Stoner, Dustin Bolly, they all got to the lead running that 3rd lane up there when they got stacked up with about 3 or 4 drivers. I'm noticing that a lot of these drivers are starting to notice that. You think you'll start seeing this here in the race. That top line is fast.
That top line is very fast right now. It seems to be making hay better than any other part of this pack. There goes the 40 of Krueger up the middle, down the back straightaway. The number 12 is going to fall back. That's James Moore in that purple and gold machine on the outside. He's got a line that picks him up, but up at the front, it's still Bolly, Brobst, Stoner, and the number 7 of Evan Hoopchak with Aaron Smith and Michael Krueger, the bracket challenge racers right there. Row 3 side by side, $50 on the line in that battle. Driver's going to be heating up here in just a little bit. The 24 low down across the apron. Interesting move. Did he get loose, Justin?
No, he got a good bump from Samuel Stoner there. It was kind of unexpected because it looked like Samuel had a good run and kept that bump nice and square, but it still upset that 24 and it stacked everyone up behind him.
And we have seen so many almost wrecks tonight, but no one sealed the deal. Thank goodness. Clean and green, 8 laps, now 7 laps, I should say, in the books. We got a couple drivers trying it up front. Big battle, 3 wide, make their way by. Robert Brobst in that number 5 down the back straightaway. They are going to go. If you're watching in the chat, let us know. Do you think we're going to have a big one? You think we're going to have a caution before we get through with these 16 laps in this opening heat to set the field? Just say a yes or no. We're giving away that free diecast. Let us know what you think in the chat right now. Aaron Smith is scored as your leader, settling down just a little bit. The top 5 or 6 single file with the exception of Dustin Bolly. Now he's got some help from Brobst. I don't think Bolly wants to have any part in this pack right now, Justin.
No, he's definitely not. I mean, we have a few drivers that kind of just backed off from the main field here. There's 4 of them back here with Aaron Bray, Sean Johnson, Sean Campbell. These guys are probably anticipating a caution in this heat race, and they're going to capitalize on it from there. But, I mean, I don't know about settling down, as you mentioned. This group has not settled down. I mean, every lap, the whole field has been shaken up. These cars put on a great race. I mean, it's not like our typical cup cars where everybody rides the line for multiple laps. These drivers are swapping positions, fighting positions. I mean, this is exciting stuff.
Does really seem like these cars. The 40 is out of shape. The 40 of Krueger with a bump from Brooks. The field stacks up. Big one through the tri-oval. Weaver and several other cars. The 18's in it. Several cars collide. carnage down the front straightaway. Sheet metal flies through the infield. We're under caution for the first time tonight on lap number 9 of this 16-lap heat. We're going to return to the scene of the crime and see if we can't figure out what exactly happened, Justin.
Yeah, quite a few drivers were involved in this one, but it looks like a big stack up. You see here with Benson Weaver kind of started in front of him, kind of domino effect all the way down. And then just the hits just kind of amplified from there. 28 up into the wall with Bali there in the 12. And all the other drivers kind of got some minimal damage that were involved here, but a couple of, fenders flying down the straightaway here. Probably about 5 or 6 cars with significant damage. And we'll definitely have to see how long they're on pit road here.
Yeah,
see if they can get these things bonded up.
Molitar's in that. Moore is in that. Chris Winslow, I believe, was in that. We saw Benson Weaver involved. Several cars are going to need to come to the attention of their pit crew as we ride on board here. You can see the stack up right in front, riding on board with Chuck Labano here.
Yeah, another one, if we're able to see, would be Larry Johnson kind of getting through that wreck, as it kind of ended, the chain reaction ended with him, because I believe he's the one that got in with Benson Weaver. But when checkups like that happen, it's hard to miss them, because you can't quite see them until it's too late. Yeah, you can see here, just look how fast that reaction was, and it's chaos from there.
Chaos indeed, and you can see the sheet metal flying all over the place, smoke and debris littering the front stretch to put us under caution for the first time tonight. Let's re-rack them. I don't think we're going to see pit stops under yellow here, with just about what's going to be a 5-lap shootout to set the field and the lineup for the 32-lap feature. Aaron Smith scored as your leader. Samuel Stoner, big mover of the night. He's up 8 positions after starting back in the 10th position. Good run for that number 65 going right now. Evan Hubchak as well, a big climber, with Michael Krueger starting near the back of the field in 13th, is up to the 4th position. Robert Brobst, shout out to Robert Brobst, having a good run in that Tony the Tiger number 5. I should say that's an Old Bay number 5 that we're seeing right now with Robert Brobst. Having a good run for Robert. Shout out to him. Good guy, Robert.
Yeah,
not as good as you, though, Johnny.
Yeah, I think our biggest mover tonight is Chuck Labano right now, up from 23rd up to 9th right now.
That's an impressive run to thread your way through the field in just 10 laps. So we're averaging a position over a lap, and obviously Talladega's bigger. The positions come a little bit faster here with the draft, but still impressive nonetheless. I'm going to see if we can't figure out, maybe grab a driver in the Discord here. Give us 1 second. Let's see who's in the Discord right now. Justin, are you nervous for these drivers as we approach what's going to be a wild, chaotic ending to this sprint race?
Oh, it's definitely going to be. They're going to stack up. We may have 4, maybe 5 laps of green, so the intensity is going to ramp up to 11 when the green flag drops. They're going to find their teammates quick and try to make a hard charge to the front. So we're about to see what's probably going to happen in our feature race, kind of foreshadow right here.
Let's see if we can grab Benson Weaver and see what he's got to say in the broadcast booth right now. Hey, Benson Weaver, this is Ellison Justin up in the Slingshot booth. You got a copy on that number 1 car.
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, man, you just went through it a little bit. Talk to us about what the racing's been like out there tonight. Feels a little bit chaotic, but drivers seem comfortable with the handling of those race cars.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say, honestly, this might be the most fun I've ever had so far in a plate race. Like, everybody's been making wild moves, but, I mean, it's been crazy fun, honestly. It's been great.
What do you got to do? Is that car capable of getting back up to the front these 5 laps or so?
I mean, given the right choices, absolutely. It's a super speedway, and I just gotta get to the correct lane and rock it to the front.
Hey, man, have you learned anything that might set you up for the feature tonight?
The only thing I can think is I need to quit babying around and sticking in a lane. I need to, be swapping around, trying stuff. Now, in all these races, I'm always just choosing somewhere and just never abandoning it, and all of a sudden I'm at the back of the pack, and it never makes sense. So, need to quit doing that and just, you know, make some moves.
All right, man. Good self-reflection there, Benson. We'll hopefully talk to you at the end of the feature tonight. Good luck out there. We're going to send you back to the chat hangout channel.
All right.
I should have had my talk with Benson before that, because those were one of the things I had talked about, using this heat race to make those moves that you normally wouldn't do. This is your time to learn, your time to, you know, getting understanding of how that car reacts. So granted, the race ain't over, so but 5 laps, Benson could get some good learning there and carry it over to the feature.
Yeah, lots of opportunities for things to happen. It's going to be a 5-lap shootout here at Talladega. And just a reminder, the main event is still yet to come. We're just halfway through the menu. Second course on the way. Right now, pace car is going to peel off. We're trying to set the field and the lineup for the main feature, the championship finale here from the Road and Plate Series presented by Palm Rat Golf. It's going to be Aaron Smith with Samuel Stoner to his outside as we ride on board with that number 70. He's led much of the way tonight, over 75% of it. He's looking for the green. He's going to mash that throttle. We're back underway here at Talladega. It's Aaron Smith with the number 7 of Evan Huchek right behind him with Robert Robes third in line. Stoner's got some help from Michael Krueger, a bracket challenge finalist. Looking to see if he can't cash that $50 check tonight as these drivers head 2 by 2, side by side through turns 3 and 4 with just 4 times remaining after that.
Yeah, they're definitely all stacked up. Who's going to be that first one that makes a move? It looks like that's going to be the number 3. Making his move to the outside. That's Andrew White getting pushed by Sean Johnson, who's been riding in the back. Remember, he was one of the ones that was outside the pack. They're going to make that third lane work. Are they going to have anybody that follows them? It doesn't look like it. It's just a 2-car tandem up here on the outside.
That's White and Johnson. There's one car behind them that's going to jump up to the outside line, looking to give a little bit of help. They need more cars if they're going to have more energy and get up to the front. Now 4 laps remaining. That black number 40, we've talked about him all night. Michael Krueger side by side with his bracket challenge arch nemesis and competitor Aaron Smith. But right now it's all Samuel Stoner and that number 65 trying to figure out which line he wants to go with. Ran center for middle for a bit, but he jumps back down to the inside with Aaron Smith, who delivers a helping hand from behind.
Yeah, one of the things I'm seeing, and you can almost script this bracket challenge for this final race side by side right now. But one of the drivers I see moving their way through the field, Devin Jack, we haven't spoke much of him, but also Ryan Campbell, who he kind of got shafted there on the outside line, fell all the way to the back. He's on that outside line in third, looking to have a shot to take home this heat race win.
Impressive comeback for the number 18, Contact, the 140, the 32, the 18, the 5 is involved in this. Several cars headed down into turn 1 where the whole thing started. We're under caution for the second time tonight, and I do believe we'll have a green-white checkered. So this doesn't end, I don't believe, this initial sprint heat, but let's see if we can't return to the scene of the crime and figure out what exactly happened to bring out that caution. It was a few laps in the making.
Yeah, it definitely was. It looked like a bit of 4 wide, but we'll have to see here. You can see Robert Probst. Oh, yeah, he kind of... Who is that on the outside? Sorry, I do apologize. The names are getting me. That's a 346. Chuck Labano got underneath Robert Probst, though, 4 wide, and looked like Robert slid up just a little bit, caught Sean Johnson there. And yeah, chaos ensued.
When you go 4 wide, you're just trying to make sure that you're giving enough room to the drivers on the left and right. And if you're looking to your left, you see a driver down there, you might make that move to the right a little bit. But if you got 2 cars to the right of you, that becomes a problem. And that's the nature of Talladega Superspeedway and this Superspeedway racing. When you get 4 or 5 cars lined up side by side, there's no room for mistake as we ride on board with Aaron Bray to watch what he saw from that number 11 car.
Yeah. Well, you just saw a robot. Oh, man, he didn't even see that coming, did he? He just was driving. He thought he made it through, and next thing you know, getting hooked, but was able to keep it off the wall. Doesn't look like he has too much damage, so he may be able to recover in this green-white checker, get one more shot at it.
They're going to have one attempt at a green-white checkered finish. It's going to be a wild one. And again, if you're watching at home, this isn't even the feature. This isn't the main event. We're racking them up. We're setting it up. Qualifying, essentially, the top 10 will be inverted. They'll start at the back of the field. So we might see some moving and shaking early on through much of this final 2 laps or so, with some drivers maybe looking to head towards the back, some drivers maybe looking to come up just a little bit. It's going to be unpredictable. And Wild, if you're watching the chat, we appreciate you tuning in. Just say hi. Let us know who you're rooting for. Show your driver some support, and we'll we're going to choose one lucky fan who's the most active chatter during the race to give a Brad Keselowski, real great racer here at Talladega. We're going to be giving a Brad K diecast, patriotic diecast away. We'll send it to you absolutely free. Just say hi in the chat. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. It doesn't cost you a dime, but it helps us out significantly. And don't forget, we do have that super chat option as well to show us a little bit of love, but no pressure on that. The only pressure right now is on the drivers. I believe they're going to be rolling around one more time. I'm curious. I'm trying to see Sam Stoner. Let's see if he's in the Discord, and we can't grab maybe just a quick word with Sam. Oh, he's in here. Let's see if we can grab him. Hey, Sam Stoner. Mr. Stoner, long time no see. This is Ellis and Justin up in the Slingshot booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, it's been a wild one so far, and this isn't even the feature race. What's the strategy here on the green-white checker? Do you want to get up the front to win it, or are you planning on dropping back?
I mean, I'd love to beat Krueger and take those points away, but honestly, I'm just here for a good time. You know, we're gonna see what we can get out of this. Hopefully, we don't just all instantly crash, and then we can have a good show here.
All right, man. Well, I saw that they just gave the one to go a little bit earlier. We're going to send you back to the main chat and hangout. Good luck. We might talk to you at the end of this thing later on this evening.
I hope so.
All right, so you heard Sam Stoner saying he just wants these points. So drivers are racing for points. These heat races do accrue points for these drivers. And with the season finale tonight, they're looking to get every ounce of points out of this race and out of these race cars as possible. Stoner's going to be starting in that 65 yellow machine on the outside of row number 2. In front of him, it's Michael Krueger and Josh Coppernoll. Krueger in the black car, Coppernoll in the white car on the outside. That's Ryan Campbell. We mentioned him coming through the field early on in this race. Now up to the 3rd position. Pace car is going to peel off. It's going to be a green-white checkered finish coming up here at Talladega. Driver's going to head past the Yellowwood sign, through the tri-oval, through the infield here at Talladega as they look for that green flag. It's going to be on Krueger to take it. He waits. He hits that gas. We're back underway. Not sure if Coppernoll maybe crossed the line first. I'm not sure, honestly, if that's a penalty here in the Road and Plate Series, but we'll be keeping an eye on it right now. Michael Krueger gets a great run with some help from Ryan Campbell. Big crash, one car on its down turns 1 and 2. That's going to end it. That's going to be the end of this sprint heat race. It's going to go to Michael Krueger with Ryan Campbell finishing 2nd. 3rd will be Josh Coppernoll. 4th will be Devin Jack. Boy, that 4 car went for a ride. Ryan Molitor. Let's see it.
Yeah, I mean, went airborne almost immediately. Looked like him in the 7. Oh, man, yeah, just a hard hook to the outside wall off of Evans' front nose there. And, yeah, wow, what a ride.
Big-time ride. Several cars.
Have to check in on him, make sure he's all right.
Yeah, several cars involved there. I believe that was the 45 as well. Chris Winslow got caught up in that. You can see kind of the carnage still left on the track. The sheet metal ripped from those steel tube chassis, with the 4 maybe getting the worst of that on his roof. You mentioned we might need to get some medics out there. Thankfully, this is a virtual race, but the stakes are anything but virtual. With we got the bracket challenge, Aaron Smith and Michael Krueger going for that. Krueger is going to have his work cut out for him, I believe, because he is going to be starting. My math is not great, but he's not going to be starting first in the sprint race because actually I'm looking. Yeah, okay. So I was just making sure we weren't going to get a green-white checkered here. That was the sole attempt, I believe. So
Yeah, that was
driver's going to work their way around here.
That was the final attempt. So the drivers are just driving around to hit the checkered here. But yeah, Michael Krueger, used this as an opportunity to learn this track, and because he knows he has to finish in front of Aaron Smith to win that $50. And I mean, you just see it, just winning the heat race right here. So all he has to do is just kind of reenact what he had already done.
We mentioned that kind of being a factor, Justin. Drivers really watching and learning from each other, maybe making some rehearsal moves for what they might try to do in the closing stages of this 32-lap main event feature, the season finale for the Palm Rat Golf Road and Plate Series, getting ready to be underway here in just a moment. We just finished the sprint heat race to set up the starting lineup, which we'll take a look at in a minute. But that is the conclusion of that. We're going to try to grab maybe a driver or two, might try to pull Aaron Smith into the booth and see if he can't tell us what he's looking to do and what the strategy is going to be and what's going to take to finish this thing up front and win that bracket challenge. I'm going to try to grab a word with Michael Krueger as well. Right now they're going to peel off. They've got a 3-minute warm-up before that heat. We'll see if we can't grab a couple drivers in the warm-up period to see what exactly it's going to take to get this thing done and how that first run felt. All right, let's see. Let's pull in Aaron Smith. Hey, Aaron Smith. This is Ellis and Justin up in the Slingshot booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I've got you.
Hey, man. Well, congratulations, first of all. You locked up the season championship last week. It's been a pretty amazing season for you. But we wanted to check in. You were kind of up and down in the top 10 over the course of that 16-lap heat race. Now, the real thing coming up, 32 laps here. What's the strategy? How aggressive are you? I know it's only 32 laps, but you can get through the field in a pretty big hurry here. And $50 are on the line. You're racing Michael Krueger for that bracket challenge in that win for a $50 check. How important is that to you?
Well, it's pretty important. Missed out there on that last restart. Had the car lined up in the middle, and then they went and wadded it up. So lost out on that. I don't know how many points back I am. I think it's about 10 now. So we're going to see how I can do here. I know I have to beat him. I know it's going to have to be by a few spots. So I have that golden horseshoe. Hopefully I'll make it work tonight.
Right, man. Well, we're going to let you go as this warm-up gets to a close. We'll talk to your competitor, but we might talk to you at the end of the race. Good luck out there for the rest of it.
10-4. Thank you.
All right, let's see if we can't get Mr. Krueger in here, if I can find him in the chat.
Yeah, he's down in the waiting room for us.
Oh, look at him. Look, what a nice guy. Michael Krueger, nice guy in the waiting room. That doesn't happen very often. Am I pronouncing your name right, first of all, before we move on to anything else?
Yeah, you are.
Awesome, man. Well, it's Justin Ellis up here in the booth. Congratulations on being a finalist in the bracket challenge, a $50 check for iRacing on the line. We saw you kind of up and down through the field. You went to the back early on, but you made your way back up to the front of it. You're going to have a little bit of work for you over the course of these 32 laps. How's the car handling? What's it like in traffic out there? How intense is it?
Well, I guess for starters, I mean, there's definitely a good bit of intensity out here, especially, I mean, being at Superspeedway. This is the finale. It's, I mean, you can just kind of feel how intense it is with the pushes and all the moves being made and how aggressive everybody is trying to get track position and all trying to go get those stage points. The pushes are, they're kind of sketchy if you, don't have your car like positioned the right way, and it really can make things very troubling. I mean, I thought I was a goner early on when I just got a bit of a miffed push a little bit from Brobst, but it was all good. It's just been kind of a whirlwind so far tonight. It's great to get this stage win or heat win to start things off, and hopefully we can get a great result out of the feature to be able to secure the bracket challenge.
Well, it's going to be wild out there. Do you have any teammates that you're working with?
I have one teammate, and it is Mr. Josh Coppernell. He typically commentates this usually on Thursday nights, but tonight, thanks to Dustin Bally, gave Josh permission to race tonight, and he's my drafting buddy for tonight. Typically, I really don't have many teammates, so it's always nice to have a helping hand here. So I'm thankful to have Josh as a teammate here for tonight.
We saw Josh in the chat. He was talking about what a fun time he was having. So good luck out there together. We might talk to you at the end of this thing. Good luck, Michael Krueger, in that number 40 car. Have fun the rest of the night.
Thank you so much.
Hey, where can we move you back to, by the way?
The Radius chat.
Which chat?
Radius.
Radius. I got you. Gotcha. There we go.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Well, we
Man,
are
what chat did
already
he say, guys?
into the grid. He said radius.
I don't see Radius. He's going to move himself back. He already did. Okay. We're going through the starting grid right now. Sean Johnson on the pole for this thing in that number 32. The 2 spot goes to James Moore in that number 12. 64 of Larry Johnson's coming from the inside of row 2 tonight with Dustin Bolly. Ran up front much of the evening, dropped back in that sprint race. He's going to be starting 4th. Aaron Smith. We saw the champion and the bracket challenge finalist up front early on in the heat race. He's going to be starting 5th. Samuel Stoner, restrictor plate expert in that number 65, starting 6th. 7th is going to be Devin Jack with Josh Coppernoll. We just heard about him. Usually our broadcaster doing a great job. He's going to be starting in 8th position in that number 42. 9th is going to be Ryan Campbell. We saw a strong run from him late on in that heat race with Michael Krueger. Just talked to him a moment ago, starting 10th. Justin, I'll let you finish the rest.
Oh, yeah, Jay Bass will be starting 11th in the 53, right on his outside, who we've seen hard charging through that heat race. He's going to be starting 12th. That's Andrew White. Mike Thompson in the 115 will be starting 13th. Laurel Wiseman will be starting 14th to that 84 machine. Tom Went starting off 15th with Aaron Bay, who we seen was holding back in that heat race. So we're going to curious to see if he's driving through for this feature. He'll be starting 16th. Chuck Labano, we saw in that 4-wide crash on the heat race there. In the 346 machine, starting 17th. Robert Ropes right there on his outside. Evan Hoopchak. I'm gonna massacre that. I'm sorry, Evan. He started
I've done
19th.
it all night long. Don't worry.
Yeah. And Brian, he is okay. Came out of the care center all nice and pretty. Got his backup car. He's gonna be starting 20th of that 4 machine. Christopher Logan in the 75. He's starting 21st. Benson Weaver, who we spoke to earlier, starting 22nd tonight. Chris Winslow, 23rd. Sean Campbell in that 54 machine, 24th. And rounding out the field, who is not on the field, so we're gonna stop at Sean Campbell here.
So if you're just joining in, we just got done with the 16-lap sprint heat race to set the field for what is the main feature, the season finale for the Palm Rat Golf Road and Plate Series. Aaron Smith's locked up the championship, but there's still much to be decided with the rest of the standings in flux and a bracket challenge with $50 going to the winner. We'll look at Smith. We'll look at Krueger over the course of the race. That head-to-head is going to be a compelling story to follow. We'll be looking out for teamwork. We'll be looking out for the draft. There's so much that these drivers are going to have to manage. I'm Ellis Thomas with Justin Wilson and Johnny Rapp in the Slingshot booth. If you're watching on YouTube right now, thank you so much for tuning in. We hope we put on a good show for you. I know these drivers are doing their best and giving it all out there. We got several people in the chat. Ernie, man, you are on the ball. Appreciate you watching tonight and joining in. We got several people. Chris Smith joining in. We got JC in the chat. Just looking through, Randy B's in the chat, Court's in the chat. So many people have really shown their support for drivers out there tonight. We appreciate you. If you haven't, you still got a chance to win that diecast. Get in there right now, though. The pace car pulls off. It's going to be Sean Johnson in that red and blue number 32 with the 12 of James Moore at his outside. They're waiting for that green flag just like we are, and there it is. Green flag is out here. Season finale for Road and Plate underway. Talladega 1 car. That's Bolly. Jumps to the high line. He's got Stoner behind him. They're going by the number 12 of James Moore with no dance partner. They jump back down. A couple cars stuck out on the outside looking to get down as well as they head through turns 2 down the back straightaway.
Man, I can't imagine what's going through James's mind right now. Not even turn 1 got hung out to dry. But he's still in that middle, still in the draft, and we've seen Michael Krueger and his teammate the 42 of Josh Copernall were trying to make that move early on, and I anticipate them two hooking up and trying to go to the front early because this. In my opinion, the safest place to be on the super speedway is either not in the pack or leading it.
100% with you. Look at that 64 of Larry W. Johnson moving to second, inside of the second row. Bolly's got help from Stoner and more there on the outside. Look at Aaron Smith in the middle, 3 wide for the first 2 rows. Several cars climb the banking. No one seems to have an advantage. Bolly gets a big push from the 70 of Aaron Smith. Bolly down to the inside with that push. But there's Michael Krueger to the back of the number 70, racing against each other in the bracket challenge. But teammates are de facto teammates right now. And look at that run from the 40 and the 70 down the back straightaway into turn 3.
And by no surprise, did you imagine he was going to ride behind Aaron? Of course, he's going to dip down to the inside to try to make the pass, but not able to. That outside has so much momentum off these corners. Aaron Smith still holding off Krueger for the lead here.
Krueger looking to the inside for the lead with the help of Bolly, but it's Aaron Smith on the outside who's preventing that from happening. Meanwhile, Josh Copernall in the 42, he's going to go to the outside, climbs the banking, looking for the lead here on number 3. Several cars in the wall. Stoner collects the 7. That's the 12 of Moore, the 1 of Benson Weaver. Big crash here on lap number 3. Much of the field collected. The caution is out for the first time in the main event tonight.
Yeah, there was some slight contact in the middle of a 4 wide. I believe it was either Evan or Benson Weaver that got sideways there. But yeah, when you get loose in a 4 wide battle, it's tough to recover from.
Tough to recover from in these ARCA cars right now as we watch the replay to see exactly what happened. One car off the wall a little bit before all that started, Justin. 4 wide, though. You mentioned it.
Yeah, I mean, you can see the 7 kind of just stuck his nose in there, but the outside line already had the run, so the 4 wide ensued. But yeah, you see Benson Weaver there get a little loose, catches Samuel Stoner there, and yeah, the rest is kind of self-explanatory here.
Stoner, a pinball in a machine that he is not going to be right now as we watch him get collected in that lap number 3 incident. Right now, your top 5 as they run. Justin, go ahead.
Yeah, so I was going to say, so fortunately for these drivers, granted they didn't want this at the beginning of the race, they do have one fast repair. So some of these drivers that we've seen hit that wall head on, like Samuel Stoner is missing all the fenders on his car right now. We'll be able to go down pit road, get it quick fix for their one-time only fix. Some of these other drivers might try to fix their damage and let it ride and kind of save it. But yeah, early on crash, and it's kind of their security blanket's now gone.
Security blanket is gone for a handful of drivers. I think Ernie Elwood described it best in the chat, wild. And that could describe the race. That could describe that crash, watching Benson Weaver and a couple other cars roll through that. Not where you want to be, but unfortunately it's the spot that so many drivers find themselves in here at Talladega. 4 laps of 32 laps in this main event have elapsed. I think we're going to see a couple of pit stops here. Yeah. Krueger, Bolly, Smith, all coming down pit road. They're going to bring Robert Brobst along with Larry Johnson and several other cars down pit road. Brobst and Johnson not down pit road, correct myself, but this is a big pit stop. Maybe, not sure the fuel mileage on these cars. Do we have any information on how long they can go on a tank? I suspect maybe they just entered their window.
Well, no, I remember, and I'm just basing off history right now because from our last one we did, but the fuel window was around 30 laps. Yeah, it was around 30 laps. So these drivers pitting now should be good on fuel for the rest of the way.
This was the window that these drivers needed, meaning unless there's another caution, these drivers have probably seen their pit crews for the one and only time tonight. Now, several drivers did take a little bit of a gamble there. Sean Johnson, Robert Brobst, Larry Johnson, the 7 of Evan Hoopcheck, Ryan Campbell in that number 18. Chuck Labano and Christopher Logan, as well as Sean Campbell, they all stayed out. An interesting strategy here to put them up front, give them some track position, maybe keep them out of the scrum back there in 8th, 9th, 10th, where we see a lot of that action happening. What do you make of this strategy, Justin, with cars lining up? I thought we might get the 1 to go, but probably 1.5 laps to go. Do you like the strategy call for Brobst and Johnson to put them up at the front?
Well, they're probably anticipating, more yellows, or they just wanted to wait and see. The track position can be key here as long as you execute it properly. Because, you pit here, you don't want to be back there in that 10th, 11th, because that's where that wreck just happened. And everyone's going to be trying to charge to the front on this restart. So if you're already up there, right, you might as well just take the gamble.
Might as well take the gamble. Go ahead, Johnny.
I think we need to pull Sean in and see
That's
exactly
what I was about to do. You read my mind. My mouse was hovering over his name. Sean Johnson. This is Ellis and Justin and Johnny up in the Slingshot booth. You got a copy, buddy.
Hey, how's it going, Ellis?
Man, it is going. It's going pretty well for you. Justin's got a couple questions for you about your strategy.
Yeah.
All right.
For one, we were curious on the fuel window. Are you guys tight on fuel? You good on fuel? Just kind of fill us in there.
I don't think at this point, like, if it goes green, anyone can make it, even the people who pit right now. They should be about 6 laps short, I was told. So I guess the people who pitted now were betting on a couple more cautions to save fuel, or maybe just be able to take a much shorter pit stop in the future. I'd rather just be at the front and be ahead of any potential crashes, hopefully.
Oh, man, that's one of my favorite strategies. I've known ran with you for a long time. We know we like hanging out up front, but tell us about the racing so far. I mean, yeah, you started on pole. You kind of fell back to about, fifth, sixth place there in that little heated race there, and then made your way back up to the front, man. Tell me, how's the racing so far?
I mean, in the features so far, I've just tried to stick to the bottom, hold my line. I think the outside line in these cars is definitely the way to move forward, and you end up kind of falling back slowly on the bottom, but I mean, I'm just trying to keep the car clean and avoid any chaos at the beginning. So.
Oh yeah. So you got any dancing partners tonight?
I haven't picked out anyone specifically. Been working with any of the Frito Sport guys around me, but I'm willing to move with whoever goes forward. So.
Well, man, I'm gonna go ahead and say while we're you got about half lap here to get your head back in the game. We'll let you go, but good luck for the rest of the run, man.
All right. Thank you.
Hey, we moving you back to chat, Hangout, or Frito Sport?
Frito Sport.
All right, man. Good luck. All right, so you heard from the guy who's going to be starting on the front row for this restart on lap 7. Just about 26 laps left, and a lot can happen in a short amount of time, but they're going to click by fast. Drivers really dealing with track position as a premium right now. You heard Sean Johnson watching that Royal Crown Cola car roll around the track right now. He wants to be up front because he senses a storm is brewing. We already saw some showers earlier with that first big one, but Sean Johnson, I would agree, think that there's more yet to come. Right now, they're watching that pace car get ready to pull off, make that hard left turn. As it does, Sean Johnson and Robert Brobst on the outside look to that Geico restart zone. It's going to be on Johnson when he gets in that restart zone to mash that throttle pedal and get the field back underway. He's going to try to snooker the rest of the field and get a good restart here and jump away from Brobst. Can he do it? There it is. Gets a pretty good restart. That 32 goes, but the 5 pulls another gear, and he launches to the outside. No behind for either one of those front row drivers, but help is going to be on the way. On the outside, it's going to be Evan Hoopchak in that number 7. On the inside, it's going to be Larry Johnson, then number 64, tucking up right to the back bumpers of both of those drivers on the front row. They head down the backstretch once again.
Well, by no surprise, that 24, Dustin Volley is already on the outside with help of Jay Bass, Devin Jack. They're trying to make the charge. They were just back here in about 15th place and already made their way up here just inside almost the top 5.
Jay Bass, you can't really miss that car tucked up behind Dustin Volley. Dance partners indeed. We talked about dance partners and draft partners and teammates are important here. You're starting to see those evolve and change and kind of become more apparent as the laps click away. They cross the start-finish line. Now to lap number 8. That's Robert Brobst in that number 5. On the inside was Sean Johnson right behind him. That 7's in the middle of the track. Almost gets a bumper full of Chuck Labano, who backs off wisely, but that middle line seems to be stacked up just a little bit because Aaron Smith and Dustin Volley are on the outside, not too far behind them, but Larry Johnson with no help, but a head of steam coming from behind.
Yeah, that outside is just starting to form up. I anticipate seeing that yellow machine of Aaron Smith probably be side by side with the leaders before we even get to the line, because they are nice and formed up top. Looks like they're all committed to working with one another, as the bottom line just lost a huge head of steam as John Johnson almost forces it below the yellow there underneath Robert Probst. They're 4 wide. Oh, that's close.
4 wide across the start-finish line. Sean Johnson wisely says, thank you, sir, but I'm going to pull out a line here and wait for the remaining 22 laps or so. Johnson had seen enough side by side with Robert Probst and 2 other cars. That was the tightest we've seen the pack all day as they now race down the backstretch. Robert Probst with a head of steam in that number 5. Several cars moving up on the inside. Lots of speed. These drivers have thrown out caution. Caution not out, but caution's been thrown out the window for several drivers. 2 by 2, 4-5 rows deep down the front straightaway.
Well, I know Michael Krueger was probably clinching tight right there, because he was a part of that 4 wide and kind of just got forced in the middle, but he was able to recover as now he gets in the underneath Devin Jack there right behind Jay Bass, but it's the outside top 2 lanes kind of fall apart here, but it looks like that 40 is making his way up to the front because he's chasing that yellow 70 machine who is now leading this race.
We talked about that bracket challenge, $50 on the line. It's a duel between the 40 of Krueger and the 70 of Aaron Smith, 5 or 6 cars up. Krueger's to the back bumper of that 53 of Bast, who's launched to the outside now. He climbs the banking. He's going to try to make the pass on the 7 of Evan Hoopchek, and they've got just Larry Johnson and Aaron Smith out in front of them right now, 2 wide, really 3rd through 8th or 9th position. A couple cars wiggle across the line there, down on the apron, down to the yellow line. There goes Larry outside, 1 car out of shape. 2 cars now check up. 1 car has to lift out of the throttle big time, dropping to the back of the field, but up at the front, they've still got it gathered up in the 40 of Krueger now to the outside. The first car on the outside, he's side by side with Aaron Smith down the back straightaway now for the 11th time tonight.
Man, all it takes is one guy getting a run, sticking his nose, and it just creates a parachute, and then everyone is spreading out. The runs are all dying. These cars are amazing to watch. It's just the runs that each of these drivers are getting throughout the field as Aaron Smith now goes back to the lead after was just in 3rd place. This is amazing. Amazing racing we're watching right now.
This really is amazing racing. Amazing racing, Justin. Talk to us a little bit from the driver perspective. What's allowing these cars to get these runs? Tell viewers who might not understand the draft what that's all about.
Well, I can't say for the ARCA car. I have yet to drive ARCA around Superspeedway. I've driven many races and won many races at Superspeedway. But the best thing is just knowing when to make that move with that run and put yourself in there. Oh, I'm sorry. Devin Jack hit the wall hard there coming off turn 2. But the biggest thing is that just the draft, when you're tucked in behind somebody and you're held back, you can get a huge run and make these slingshot passes, as we're seeing, because a lot of these drivers, they're not having the teammate locked to their bumper as we see in like the Cup Series or even the Xfinity cars. A lot of these drivers are making these moves on their own, which just makes it so exciting as a driver that you don't have to rely on somebody, and you yourself can put yourself in a position with this race rather than, a group of teammates kind of just, dominating a race.
3 wide for the lead. Every single car trying to get every inch of the track. Not many inches left here. That's Dustin Bolly in the 24 with the number 12 not too far behind him on the outside. I believe that number 12 might be a lap down, maybe trying to get that back the hard way. But Bolly and Probst side by side as they head down the backstretch. Looks like Probst has the upper hand with the help, but before you know it, the 40 of Krueger has the 42 of Josh Coppernoll not too far behind, giving him a big old push down the middle. He's going to win the battle. 1 car, Bass, down the line there, down across the nose of another car. They sort it out, but this is tight, and it has not slowed down all evening long. Now coming to lap 14, just 18 laps remaining. We're almost halfway through the season finale for Road and Plate. Look at that. Those are the 2 bracket challenge contenders side by side, first and second. It's Smith and Krueger. You said it earlier, Justin. You couldn't have scripted it better.
Yeah, I know. I was about to say it again. It's almost like we're planning this, right? The 2 bracket challenge winners head to head at a super speedway. I mean, it sounds like, you got the 2 best drivers for this bracket challenge right now because both of them have been dominating in this race so far.
Both drivers doing a great job. Johnny, I'm curious. I want to see the view out of one of the front of these cars from the cockpit. Maybe Sam Stoner, just how hard it is to see what exactly is happening in front of you beyond the car directly in front of you. Drivers have to put a lot of trust in that driver in front of them to kind of understand and to make it through this pack. And we'll ride on board with Samuel Stoner right now and see what he's seeing out of that helmet.
Yeah, it's definitely tough. You can see a lot of cars just changing lanes, moving, the wiggles that the car has because of the airflow on the vehicles. Man, Aaron just squeezing in. There's a 4 wide. Look at Samuel Stoner following in suit. It's a great on board right now, but man, the whole field is completely bunched up right now.
4 wide, Jack Stoner, the number 28 and the 7. They settle it out, but that was a moment for several cars that hasn't worked out well for many others much of this evening, but they worked through it just fine there. The laps are clicking away. Up front, it's about to be a 3 wide battle for lead. Bali, Coppernoll, Brobst, they've all got help behind them. Devin Jack, don't look now, but that car is on rails right now. That 49 up to 5th position. Jack started back in the 5th position, but we haven't seen him up front. Drivers really tight.
I don't know if you saw that, Ellis, but Devin Jack was completely sideways on that outside line. I'm surprised he was able to hold on to that great driving there, but he definitely checked up a little bit. But this package is so crazy because you look now, we're 2 wide, everybody's nice spread out, but I guarantee you next lap we're going to be 3 wide the entire field deep.
One car slides up the track, now slides down. That's Krueger in that number 40. He slides right in front of Tom Wendt in the number 28. And Tom Wendt, great run going for that driver. He started in the 15th position in this feature race, and he's up at least half a dozen or more spots right now, riding the momentum of that inside line as driver number 28, Tom Wendt, making it look easy down there. That outside line, the middle and the outside row looks to have lost a little bit of steam, Justin.
Yeah, it's just from these runs that they're getting. But like I was saying before, I don't want to speak too soon. It might seem like they're calm now, but next lap we're probably going to be 3 wide. But there are a few drivers right now that have probably noticed this, these close calls that we've had. There's about a group of 5 drivers as Chris Winslow now is falling back to the group. But Brian, was that Molitor in the 4, Benson Weaver, Sean Campbell, as Sean Campbell's actually pitting right now. We got a couple
one car coming down pit road.
These guys decided, hey, we're just going to kind of ride back here a little bit. Let you guys have all the fun right now. We're gonna come once,
Oh, and it was a good idea. The 28 and the 15 of the 53, Bast and Wendt, head-on collision, carnage down the front straightaway. Several cars on their lids. We're under caution for the second time in this feature race. And Justin, you were just talking about it. They didn't like what they saw. They jumped out of the pack, fell to the back, and because of that, that might have been a race-winning call for those drivers.
Yeah, it was. And then, these guys are all now going to have to use their fast pair if they still have one remaining. But flip count number 2 on the night with Devin Jack just immediately up on his side and just started flipping down in here into turn 1. Definitely have to check on him afterwards. But, man, yeah, I was just calling it how these guys were driving in the back. And I hope I didn't jinx it, fellas.
Commentator's curse, man. You got it. You're used to it on Monday nights. It strikes again a couple times as we're watching the replay of that lap number 18 caution. And this, Justin, I believe is going to give drivers the window that they need to make it the rest of the way. We heard from Sean Johnson before that first restart of this race that he didn't think the drivers who pit earlier could make it, which is why he didn't pit. He said he wanted that track position. Now, since then, Sean Johnson's fallen back to 18th or 19th, but several drivers getting the caution they need to get down pit road, get that gas without losing a whole ton of track time.
Yeah, like you said, we just reached halfway. Fuel window is, the whole strategies, that's out the window. But I'm actually kind of looking too here. Aaron Smith has quite a bit of damage on his car. Yeah, I mean, I saw the front bumper fly off. It looks like it's back on, but he has quite a bit of damage. I think he took a good blunt here in this wreck, so be curious to see if he takes a fast repair or kind of hangs out to fix that damage.
Yeah, I'm going to be interested to see that as well. We're going to follow up on that story. We'll look at where the rest of the leaders stand here. We'll figure out who got damaged from that wreck, if your favorite driver was involved. But before we do all that, we got to pay some bills. All the shots that you're seeing producer Johnny so wonderfully bring to you tonight live on YouTube, they're from Whiplash Sim Cams. We're going to hear from them in this partner break. We'll be back in about 60 seconds. Don't go anywhere. Still 13 laps left here from Talladega. Live here from Talladega Superspeedway, just 12 laps remaining in the season finale for the Road and Plate Series from Palm Rat Golf. I'm Ellis Thomas, joined by Justin Wilson and Johnny Rapp in the Slingshot Racing Media booth. You're watching Christopher Logan, Samuel Stoner, Michael Krueger roll around up front right now. They were not involved in that last big crash that we saw put several cars on their roofs. Right now, they're up front, and they've got clean air in front of them. That's the best seat in the house. We appreciate everyone joining in tonight. Y'all have the best seat in the house watching from YouTube. You don't have to live through the pressure that these drivers are under right now. We appreciate everyone joining in. If you haven't joined in the chat yet, you still have a chance to win the Brad Keselowski diecast. Just be an active chatter. Let us know what you want to see. Let us know what you think of the race, what the drivers are doing. Maybe if you want to see a specific driver, let us know. Hey, Johnny, we got one. I think Went wants to be pulled in here to the chat. Let's see if we can grab him real quick. Where's Tom Went? Here we go. There you go. Tom Went, this is Ellis, Justin, and Johnny in the booth. You got a copy?
I am here.
Hey, man. Well, unfortunately, you were out of the race, but you had a first-hand view of everything that has gone down tonight. Talk to us about what it seems like has been an incredibly intense race. These ARCA cars have a lot of ability to move through the field and make moves.
So, yeah, it's a very interesting combo because either you can't get to the car's bumper in front of you or you're catching them at 88 miles an hour, if you know what I mean. It is the most absolute insane thing I've ever experienced. It was like the first example was that the last caution that took me out of the race. It was like we stalled. Me and Jay stalled. I was like, okay, I guess we're going to have to find our way back in. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it was just like, oh, somebody put a turbo on my engine all of a sudden. Yeah, it's the give and the take. And then if anybody wiggles, it's over. It's just like watching a slinky go down the stairs.
That's a great metaphor to describe it, Tom. We appreciate it. We're going to be getting ready for the restart here in just a moment. Do you think we're going to have another crash before this one's over in 11 laps?
Does the Pope crap in the woods? Excuse me.
A bit of mixed metaphors there, but we definitely get what you're going for, man. Well, we're sorry to see you out of the race, but we were glad to see you in it while you were in there. We're going to send you back. Where do you want to go? Chat, hangout, or somewhere else?
Well, you can put me back into Frito Sports.
Frito it is. Good luck, buddy. See you later.
Good night, guys. Thank you again.
All right, so that was did I put him in the wrong channel?
No, you're all good.
Okay.
But one thing, Ellis, we kind of want to follow up before we hit the green here. Yeah, I mentioned a couple of drivers out right now. Tom Went, looks like the 12 James Moore, but Aaron Smith did take quite a bit of damage, but he opted to fix all his damage on pit road. I'll be curious to see if any aero leftover damage might affect that car. So Aaron Smith still has that fast repair handy.
I think Aaron Smith might be looking for another caution. Right now, Christopher Logan and Samuel Stoner, they have the best view of the field. They're up front. The 75 of Logan with the 65 of Stoner. They take the green flag. Underway here. Go from Talladega in the season finale for the Road and Plate Series. There goes Krueger to the top. He know who he wants to go with, and that's Sam, the 65. He's got a helping hand from the number. Sorry, that's Chuck Labano in that 846. He is moving as sliced outside. Now Labano maybe seeing if Krueger wants to go with him. Several cars wiggling on that top line, but Krueger's going to stay glued to the back of that 65 of Stoner.
Man, it is wild to see. You don't expect the leaders of these restarts, whether which outside or inside lane, just getting hung out to dry right off the start. That's the second time we've seen it tonight. So now I'd be afraid to be starting on the front row right now.
There goes Krueger to the outside. He's now in the front row. He's got a couple cars. One car, big time to the outside. Who is that? That is maybe Laura Wiseman to the top. She's looking for the lead. Several cars down to the apron. Laura's got the help of Larry Johnson behind her. Can she get the job done? Down into turns 1 and 2. Laura Johnson is up to the front row for the first time tonight. She's doing everything. Laura Wiseman get the lead away from Michael Krueger. Big helping hand from Larry Johnson as they get ready to head down into turn number 3. Just 10 laps left from Talladega.
Big move, as you mentioned, from Larry Johnson and Laura Wiseman. They were back in 10th and 11th right before crossing the start-finish line, and here they are leading the race, going off into turn number 3.
Laura Wiseman, Larry Johnson behind her. Now to the outside, gets moved up the track a little bit by Michael Krueger, who's got Larry Johnson, Samuel Stoner and Benson Weaver not too far behind. My stats are messed up a little bit. My timing table's messed up. But Stoner now, that inside yellow car in the number 65. It's got the 75 of Christopher Logan with him. Justin, they're sorting it out single file. As soon as I say that, Aaron Smith with that damaged 70, it doesn't look to have slowed him down as he jumps to the outside. Now the fourth car in position, but the first car on the outside line.
Yeah, it definitely looked like the team was able to patch up that number 7 as they all stack up. Big checkup on the outside. Laura Wiseman down on the end.
Johnson, hard hit to the wall. Several cars, another car on its roof puts us under caution. Once again, bump drafting and checkup's gone awry there. Labano is not going to like the outcome of that.
Not sure if we're going to call that a flip count. It was almost a full flip.
A half one.
We'll probably call it one.
Let's see what happened here.
I can see we were mentioning the checkup, and yeah, it looks like Larry Johnson was a little bit higher than Chuck Labino there, and yeah, I mean, just kind of got hooked on the outside. We could count that almost as a full. I mean, he was pretty much on his roof.
Yeah, we'll add it. What are we up to, 3 tonight or 4?
Yeah, we're up to 3 now.
Talladega, no stranger to cars on their roofs. Aaron Smith now up to 5th position, chasing down Michael Krueger. That is a bracket challenge matchup, the finale of the bracket challenge, actually. And Justin and Johnny, I might have to have you correct me here, but is it best finisher of the 2 wins that $50 check, or are there points involved?
It goes off of the heat and the feature. I think it's the best average finish between the 2 races. Yeah.
And I think Krueger said he was going to have to do a little bit, or was it Aaron Smith who said he's going to have to do a few positions better than Krueger here to really have a chance?
Yeah, I think it'll be 10 positions. That's going to be hard to do with Krueger leading the race. Very competitive all night. So.
Several cars coming down pit road now on lap number 25. Coming to lap 26, this is probably going to put us in line for a 5-lap shootout. And I can't think of a better way to finish this race with a quick shootout, because it has been a wild one all night long. We counted 3 or 4 cars that have rolled over tonight, and every driver we've talked to, and based on what you've observed and we've observed in the booth, these cars just have the ability to feel like they're shot out of a cannon and get major runs on the cars around them, which provides for amazing racing, but it also, on the other end of the spectrum, can really set us up for some collisions with varying amounts of speed, and drivers have to check up and touch those brakes. But right now, Michael Krueger and Laura Wiseman, they're both doing a great job of it. They are first and second, with Josh Coppernoll third. Samuel Stoner is fourth. We mentioned Aaron Smith in fifth. Christopher Logan's been up front for really the last 10 laps or so of this race. Christopher's done a good job. Robert Bropes having a strong run in seventh position. Ryan Campbell has just kind of stuck around. I would keep an eye on that number 18, Justin. I feel like he's kind of been a dark horse sleeping bear over the course of much of the race. We've seen him have the ability to get to the front pretty quickly, and I don't think we're done seeing him run up front.
Yeah, I was actually going to say the exact same thing about the driver that's right behind him here on the screen. That 45, Chris Winslow, has been keeping his car clean. He's been running fairly decent all night, and kind of like that, what do they call it? Kind of that, oh man, I'm having a brain fart moment here, but I have a feeling we're going to see that 45 charging to the front here on this kind of final 5-6 lap dash we're about to have.
It is going to be a wild one indeed. Still sorting it out here on lap number 26. We mentioned this is the season finale for the Road and Plate Series. And while these guys are getting it sorted out, I think we've seen all the pit stops we're going to see tonight from the drivers running up front. If you're just tuning in to Slingshot Racing Media for the first time, we cannot say thank you enough. If you're a veteran and you've been around, welcome back. We do this 3 or 4 times a week, and it is a blast doing it, but it takes a village. We've got a producer. We've got 2 broadcasters in the booth tonight. We appreciate you and everything you do. Please, 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 it doesn't even cost any money. Hit that subscribe button. It only helps us. It doesn't cost you a single dime, but it helps get your drivers in front of more eyeballs, as well as gives us more exposure as well for absolutely nothing on your end. If you haven't done it, do it. Hit the like button as well. And if you're really feeling generous, share the broadcast with a friend. Send them the link on the phone. Let them pull it up and join in and watch all the excitement as well right now. Speaking of friends, do you want to have a friend right now, Justin, if you're running in this 5-lap shootout?
I'm going to be 100% honest with you. It's I don't know, because we've seen all night how, and kind of going back to that last crash, we've seen how Larry Johnson went from 10th to 1st, and then in one lap went from, pushing Laura to the lead back to 10th and getting caught up in a wreck. So honestly, I don't know whether having a teammate will be helpful or not. These drivers in these cars are able to make moves from 10th, 11th place back in just one lap. So honestly, I have no idea what to expect on these final few laps.
The word teammate might be going out the window with just about a quarter of a lap before these drivers see the green flag for maybe the final time tonight. Laura Wiseman with Michael Krueger on the inside, Samuel Stoner and Josh Coppernoll on the next row, with Christopher Logan and Aaron Smith on the third row. Honestly, you could see a driver anywhere in this field, like you mentioned, Justin, get up to the front here. It doesn't take long with the draft package that we've seen on these ARCA cars here at Talladega. We're not going to have to wait much longer to find out how this one's going to end, because the pace car has pulled off. We're going to be getting ready for a 5-lap shootout. Can Krueger get it done? Can Wiseman get it done? We don't know. We're just going to have to wait. You're going to have to wait. But right now, driver's about to mash that throttle pedal. Back underway here. Krueger gets a good restart. The 42 of Coppernoll gives him a push. Now Wiseman has to find their dance partner. Samuel Stoner on the outside, going to give a push to Laura in that number 84. It's neck and neck, side by side as they head through turns 1 and 2. One car, the 45 hard into another car. Can they hang on to it? Will we get a caution? The answer right now remains no. Green flag stays out here at Talladega. The leaders, can't slide a sheet of paper between those bumpers right now, Justin.
Yeah, it was back here, or up here in the front, there was a huge checkup on the bottom lane, which allowed the entire top lane to just clear the bottom. Laura Wiseman still leading this with Sam Stoner pushing. But right now, the battle back here, Aaron Smith ended up losing a lot of positions, and now he's back here, third row on the outside above Robert Brobst, and the person he is trying to beat of Michael Krueger for that $50 is leading this outside line.
Oh, big contact between the 18 and the 70. Smith swung it to the right to try to take it 3 wide. And for just a moment there, Ryan Campbell said no, sir, but thought better of it. They're side by side now down into turns 1 and 2. One car in the middle, that's Campbell. Now Larry Johnson slides of both, but up front the steam continues to mount. Krueger in the lead with the 7 of Hoopchak. Now the 84 of Wiseman, almost 3 wide with Logan up top in that number 75.
Yeah, that bottom line is kind of just taking away right now, but Aaron Smith is committed to running that outside. He's seen it move. I was going to say Dustin Bally was up there with him, which we've seen him running up high too, but right now it's just a 2-car tangle on the outside.
Ooh.
Big check up on the middle here with the 75. Christopher Logan, they keep it going straight. Aaron decides he wants to move down. Aaron right now is just a lone fish out here in this big old pond because nobody is really working with him right now.
3 to go. Wiseman to the outside of Krueger. She takes the lead with just 3 laps remaining. Stoner not too far behind.
Oh, no.
Smith and the 7 get in contact with each other. That's going to put us under caution. Smith, the championship winner, is going to be out of this race. Actually, they might have their quick pair left, but regardless, we're still under caution. It's going to set up a green-white checkered, and you saw that one, Justin, brewing for just half a lap between Smith and Hoopchak, and it finally erupted here on lap 30.
Yeah, I was so shocked to see Aaron. I mean, he moved it down into an opening that wasn't quite there. It was there, but it wasn't there. I mean, it was kind of a high-risk move, but he knew who he was battling was right there on his inside. So, I mean, maybe it was that $50 waving. He saw that opening. But as you see here, going into one, right there with Evan right in front of him here, the opening's slightly there, and then it closed as soon as he got there. So both of our kind of bracket challenge drivers involved in this one, but obviously Aaron taking a huge hit.
That's a very uncharacteristic Aaron Smith move to make, but it was with just 3 laps remaining in this race. So you can't fault him for going for it there with $50 on the line. That was kind of his last chance if he was going to catch Krueger. Krueger remains in the 4th position right now as we watch Dustin Polly's view. Not one you'll want to be looking out the front window for, but let's reset this whole thing for the fans watching at home. Y'all are about to get a green-white checkered finish here in just about a lap and a half. This is the season finale of the Road and Plate Series from Palm Rat Golf. Aaron Smith has locked up the title. It looks like Michael Krueger, might have his hands firmly on the bracket challenge and that $50 check, but there are still bragging rights in terms of who's going to win this race. And I'm looking at 11, 12, 13, 14 drivers or more who within 2 laps could arguably get to the front based on the racing we've seen tonight. No holds barred. The gloves are coming off here with just about 2 laps before this restart. Actually, we're going to get the green-white. Yeah, we're going to have a green-white checkered here, Justin. At this point, what are you telling your driver if you're on that pit box and you're talking to someone? Let's just say you're talking to Laura in that number 84. What advice are you sharing to her as the leader on this restart? You know what? I think we can we pull her in?
I was about to say I would love to hear from her myself. Actually, I'll get her pulled in here.
Yeah.
Laura Wiseman, got a copy of this? Justin and Ellis up in the booth.
Yeah. Hey, what's up?
Well, I don't want to shake the nerves. I know what it's like to be on these front rows on these green-white checkers, but I'm kind of curious what the strategy, what you feeling. You got any teammates out here? What's the game plan to hold on this lead for the next 2 laps?
Well, I think, some lessons I could have afforded to, I could learn. I think I'm going to try my best to apply them here. As far as just going to try to keep her out front and not going to lift till I see God or the checkered flag.
That's the perfect way to take a super speedway race. But I'm going to tell you what, you got some hungry drivers behind you that are not only racing for championship points as well as yourself, but racing for that bracket series challenge. And you have to sit here and hold them all off Do you have anybody that you're locked in with, or are you kind of by yourself right now?
We'll see.
That pretty
Oh,
much
boy.
gives me my answer.
We'll see. Well, it's been a wild race. You have done a great job up front, Laura, looking to see if you can't hold off what Justin called a hungry pack of drivers behind you. Good luck on this final restart. You got one green, white checkered to get it done. Good luck out there, Laura.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Well, one thing, Ellis, one of the things she said previously about learning stuff, that was me and Laura at a super speedway race not too long ago. A little bit of lessons learned there. That good learning there.
And you learn by experience, and so many of these drivers have experience on these restrictor plate tracks because this is the road and plate series. It's exactly what it sounds like in the title. Half the schedule are restrictor plate super speedway tracks. The other half are road courses. So really testing the opposite ends of the spectrum when it comes to driver skill. They've seen restrictor plate super speedway tracks for much of the season, this being the season finale. They've had practice. They've timed many of their runs. They had the heat race earlier on tonight. They've had 30 laps prior to now. If you're going to learn your lesson, hopefully you've learned it at this point. Laura Wiseman trying to hold off Samuel Stoner, Robert Brobst, Michael Krueger. Those are your first four. Devin Jack, after being on his roof earlier in this trade, back up to the 5th position with Ryan Campbell and that number 18, a driver that is hung the field very quickly. Anything could happen here with just a half a lap left. If you've tuned in, appreciate
keep in
it.
mind,
Go ahead,
Ellis,
Justin.
Keep in mind, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but keep in mind our heat race was a green, white, checker finish, and we didn't finish it. So, Laura's strategy is to maintain the lead at all times because, we only have this one attempt at a green, white, checker. So if a caution comes out on this first lap, it is race over, just like we saw in the heat race.
Yeah, and similarly, if a caution comes out, once the white flag is flown, they race back to the line. There is no caution once the white flag flies. That is it. Drivers will race back to the line. So once they get to that white flag, we can guarantee it won't end under caution. Laura Wiseman, Samuel Stoner, I think at this point don't want the caution to be them, certainly. But I don't think we're done crashing tonight. The question is when and where does it happen? Pace car getting ready to make that hard left turn down pit road. Wiseman on the inside, Stoner on the outside. You heard Laura say she didn't know who she was going to with or if she had help. And by the way, 2 laps to go. All help might be out the window right now. Wiseman's going to be in charge of the restart. She's going to be looking for that restart zone to mash the pedal. They're in it. There she goes. We're underway for the final time tonight for the plate series. For the final time this season, Wiseman with a bumper full of Robert Brobst behind her leaves Sam Stoner. He's going to move to the top in the middle now, looking for which line has the momentum. Block. The 84 now slides in the middle. Brobst and Stoner to the inside. They come down the backstretch for the penultimate time tonight.
That windshield, or her rear mirror, is probably going to be as big as a windshield, but Samuel Stoner on the outside with Michael Krueger has now cleared her. Is Sam Stoner going to stay up high with Michael Krueger? Or is he going to move down right in front of Laura? Does it look like it? They're nose to nose off into turn 3, but two rows back. Who's going to be the first one that's going to dip out and try to make that outside lane work with only one coming to the white flag?
Stoner puts his trust in Krueger. That helping hand behind doesn't come down in front of Laura Wiseman, who's got Robert Brobst as a dance partner here. Coming to the white flag, we will finish under green. Stoner looks to have the advantage with Michael Krueger to the outside. When will Krueger make a move? He makes the move. Stoner looks for the inside. Wiseman in it. Krueger now the leader. Back, Sean Johnson is there with Josh Coppernoll. It's going to be a 3-car battle. Krueger makes the move. Johnson to the outside. Coppernoll works with Krueger. They're teammates, but look, the 7 of Evan Hoopcheck to the outside with the 45 of Chris Winslow not far behind. Contact's going to take 3 cars out of it. A 3-car battle. There comes the 18 of Ryan Campbell. Leaders contact, the 40, the number 42 side-by-side Coppernoll. Can Campbell take advantage coming to the line? Side-by-side, who's it gonna be? Krueger. Michael Krueger wins the season of the Road and Plate Series from Talladega in a photo finish. Wow, Justin.
Ellis, your voice, you lost me, man. That was an exciting finish. We couldn't tell what was going to happen. I knew when we seen Krueger move to the outside, Samuel Stoner had no choice but to block that inside line. And there was nothing Lauren could do with that run that she had. But I'm telling you, Krueger has to do nothing but thank. But Josh Coppernoll, good teammate that helped him right at the end to maintain that lead. What a race. Bracket challenge winner. I mean, hands down, we know who's winning that $50 tonight.
That was a wild finish. Multiple crashes on that last lap. Really put it down to 3 or 4 cars who had a chance to win at the line. Ryan Campbell in that number 18 was one of those. We're going to hear as we pull him into the booth. Hey, Ryan Campbell, this is Ellis, Justin, and Johnny up in the Slingshot booth. You got a copy, sir?
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, well, wild finish there. You were my prediction for kind of a dark horse on that green-white checkered finish. We saw you kind of move through the field very quickly, and you almost pulled it off there. Talk to us about that dash to the line. Did you think about maybe making a little bit of contact? Who did you want to go with and push to the finish if you couldn't win? And could you have done anything differently to get into victory lane tonight?
I'll be honest, coming to the line there, I didn't even look at the relative. I didn't know who the 2 in front of me were. I just saw Krueger had a better run and chose him to push through, trying to see if I could push past the other guy. I didn't, but it was a very fun finish.
Man, you did a hell of a job. It's a great way to finish off the season in that number 18. You got any shout-outs before we let you go celebrate that podium?
Well, it'd have to be TW3 liveries. Tom Wendt, he makes all the paints in this league. Made mine and my dad's paint, the 2 Campbell Soup cars. So he's the best.
Man, good job out there. Congratulations. And hope to see you around in the future, my friend.
Thank you.
All right, that was Ryan Campbell, third place finisher tonight. Now we're going to hear from runner-up Josh Coppernoll. Justin, I'll let you take it away.
Yeah, Joshua Coppernoll.
Hey, how's it going?
I was about to say, I hear it kicking off, man. Man, from the booth to the track, pulling home a second place, working with your teammate there right at the end, man. Come on, tell me about how that race went for you tonight. And man, that was an exciting race.
It was. I don't know if you guys saw, or even the guys in the comments realized who JC was. That's me. When I said after the sprint race that was some of the craziest plate racing, or one of the craziest plate race I have ever done, I really meant it, and it carried over to the feature race. These guys, they are no joke on the plate races. That's for sure. I had a blast out there, and I hope I didn't make any enemies, since I am the regular broadcaster of these guys. But no, that was incredible. Thank you guys so much for coming in and doing this to allow me to be out here on track.
Yeah, man, of course, man. We enjoy being up here in the booth. We enjoy watching some exciting racing like this, just like you do each week. But, man, before we let you go and celebrate with the team, is there anybody you'd like to thank, that got you here tonight?
Yeah, first of all, Dustin Bali for sure. Without him, I mean, this would not be possible. And I gotta thank Brandon Carl as well, because it was a conversation that him and I had in the booth that sparked this whole thing. Evan Hoopchak for all he does for the league with Palm Rat Golf. Check them out, palmratgolf.com. And Michael Krueger, he is an awesome teammate, awesome friend, and of course, I gotta shout out JCTV as well as you guys for all you do. I know what it's like, and it's not easy to put on great broadcasts. So, thank you.
It's easy if you're having fun at it.
This is true.
Amen.
Well, man, congratulations on the second place finish, man. Go on, celebrate with the team, and have a good one.
Thank you.
All right, so you heard from Josh Coppernall. We're now going to bring the winner, Michael Krueger, into victory lane. Michael Krueger, it's Ellis, Justin, and Johnny in the booth. Congratulations on winning the season finale in no less than a thrilling fashion. Walk us through that last lap. Do you have any memory of what happened and what got you across the line first?
Man, I mean, I just heading to that last lap there, and from the restart prior, I was going to stick with Stoner. I was going to try to just go into that white, stay in the middle to top, stay there, because I knew the bottom all race had some of its issues, so I knew that if I could just work that top and stay up there, I'd be able to carry that momentum. I just had to be able to make a move around Stoner there, and so I got all over his bumper and tried pushing him out there so I could make sure that he was clear of the bottom to really sell it, to force his hand to go low there, so that if he could not block me, he could go down there in the middle lane behind me. They wouldn't try to go to the very top, and they could stick with me in the run. And they had the wreck behind me, and I thought I was in trouble at all there because Sean was right there behind me. I just was trying to defend, and I wasn't really sure where to go because we all got single file, and so I just went low to block, and Josh Cavernall was right there. He's stuck low with me, and he pushed me there to get us out ahead, and then off 4, he tried to make the move there for the win, and I mean, I knew he was gonna go for the win there. It's just he had the privilege to race here tonight, so I mean, I don't blame him one bit for trying to make the move there. And shout out to Sean Campbell there at the end. He made the last little nudge there to make sure that I was able to hang on there at the end, just barely, and that's really kind of what helped me get that there at the last lap.
That was my other question for you was, did you believe that Coppernall was committed to you, or were you worried that he might go for the win himself? And it sounds like you believed he had every right to do so. But hey, all's fair on that final lap, my friend. Y'all raced each other clean to the line, and great teamwork throughout much of the race. Congratulations, not only on that, but you won the $50 check for the bracket challenge, all but official tonight with your run in the heat and the feature race tonight. What are you going to do? First of all, how difficult was it to weed your way through that bracket challenge? Were there any close moments over the course of the season where you kind of doubted whether you would make it to the finale?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, with just the slate we had, I felt like to start off Daytona, I mean, of course, you don't have much control in your fate. You just got to put yourself in good spots there, and I was able to beat my first competitor, Devin Jack, there. And when we got to the road courses, I was really worried those would be my detriment because, I mean, there's so many talented guys here in the road course that on any given day could absolutely whip me. I mean, I feel like I'm kind of like trying to learn from some of these guys. Like, I'm not as good as some of them, and I'm trying to better myself at road course than where I'm at now. And I mean, Stoner really was going to put a big fight at the Glen, and we had a great battle, but unfortunately he got caught up in an incident. And I thought Willow Springs was going to be it as well with Bass and myself. And I mean, I thought Bass was actually going to get me with the feature. He was ahead of me and was ahead of the flip for Willow Springs, and with how tricky it was to pass, I thought he had me, but unfortunately he had a speeding penalty and I was able to skate by. I just really believe that if I can somehow tiptoe through the road courses, I'd have a shot at winning this thing. And I mean, it took a lot to get through, a lot of stuff to go right, and just a lot of trials going through the way to pull it, but it's very relieving to come away with the bracket challenge. I hardly win any money stuff or anything from league, so it's really a privilege to win the bracket challenge in the Road and Plate series here, and especially with the challenge that Destin Volley provides us.
Well, you found yourself the winner tonight. Congratulations. Enjoy that $50. Don't spend it all on in one place, but technically it's iRacing cash, so you have to. Good luck, man. Hope you pick out some good tracks and cars, and hopefully see you around.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Have a good night.
Thank you. You too.
So that was Michael Krueger, the bracket challenge winner. And that leaves us one driver to talk to, and that is your season champion for the Palm Rat Golf Road and Plate Series, Aaron Smith. You're live in the broadcast booth with Ellis, Justin, and Johnny. Do you have a copy, sir?
Yeah, I've got you.
Man, we talk about, interesting series combinations for tracks and cars, and this is one of the most interesting I've seen. Congratulations on the championship, but you had to work hard, and to be honest, like, the road courses were probably more your speed, and probably maybe more in your wheelhouse than restrictor plate superspeedway races like we saw tonight at Talladega. But you mastered both over the course of the season to pick up a handful of wins and have the best average finish in the series, with an average finish right around 4th/5th position all season long. And that's what propelled you to the championship. Congratulations. You got any shout outs for anybody, or maybe you want to talk about just how this season has been?
Yeah, well, I'd like to thank all the folks at Road and Plate for putting this championship on. I mean, I love to run these stock cars on the road courses, especially at the ones I've never really seen before. Like, we went to a few new tracks this season that I had to buy for the sole purpose of running here, and those were really fun. But, yeah, it's a great season all around, and, man, I wish I could have gotten that bracket challenge done tonight, but it was just a few steps too late.
You can't win everything, my friend, but you did win the title, and all joking aside, you had a good run going tonight until you got involved in a couple crashes. Did that damage affect you at the end, or was the quick repair kind of the savior for you?
After that last wreck, I had 14X, and I had the fast repair, so I would have been fine, but I saw them, I was counting on them wrecking around the front of the field, which they did, but it didn't take out the people I needed it to take out, so they came out ahead, they came out on top, and I finished like 6th or 7th, which is still pretty good in the grand scheme of the season, but it wasn't what I wanted, so I'll be back at some point in the future. I told them if they pushed me to the wind, like, they wouldn't have to deal with me anymore, but that didn't happen. So I've never been one for collective punishment, but I'll have to see that through sometime.
Oh, that's hilarious. So one last question for you. What was the biggest challenge in terms of road courses this year? What was the hardest one for you to get down?
Shoot, let me check the schedule again. I've forgotten half the season. Mugello would have to be the most difficult one. I think that was the only road course race I lost on, like, merit. Willow was the second, like, most difficult track, mainly because I haven't raced there before either. But I want to say that the only reason why I lost was because I kept going off in the final corner there, like the wide sweeping right-hander. But I made a bunch of mistakes in that race, and that ultimately cost me. But I feel like that was the most fun I had this season. So if there's anything to take away, it's that these guys have a really good taste in tracks.
Awesome, man. Well, did a great job this season. Any quick shout-outs before we let you go celebrate that championship?
Yeah, I'd like to thank the folks at Road and Plate once again for putting on another great season. I'd like to thank y'all for broadcasting, all the folks for watching. Looking forward to getting back at it whenever I show up next.
All right, Aaron Smith, Season 6 championship for the Road and Plate Series. Go celebrate.
Thank you.
All right, Justin, this was a wild one, man. It was only 32 laps for the main feature and the main event tonight, but a lot happened over the course of those 32 laps. Were you surprised by anything you saw tonight, or was it all just super speedway racing that we've grown accustomed to?
No, that was definitely what we had hoped and anticipated for, right? Action-packed from the drop of the green flag at the heat race to the checkered flag of Krueger winning this thing tonight. I mean, not one point of this race did we go, yep, these drivers are just riding to the end of the race. No, it was full throttle. We're going to the front every moment of that race.
It was a wild one, and great season for the Road and Plate Series over the course of the year. Just looking at some of the season stats there and the final championship running order. Johnny, you've got better eyes than I do. How did the top 10 stack out?
Yeah, I think I can zoom in a little bit on this too, right? That might help. Yeah, obviously Aaron Smith, 156-point lead at the end of this thing. Dominating performance on the road courses, and you expect it, but hey, there's a lot of other heavy hitters. Michael Krueger kind of sounded a little, I don't know, he was being a little shy there, I would say. He's been a force to be reckoned with on these road courses, and yeah, I mean, I know Portland he did really good at, and I remember that. So yeah, obviously Dustin being a really good road racer too, and Sam and Jay, you know, those guys have been really man. I'm kind of surprised in Jay Bass this season. I thought he was gonna get another win or two, but hey, he's still up there in the top 5 in points. Really good run, you know, consistent. He's just had some bad luck, I think, and yeah, I mean, hey, the rest of the top 10 here, I mean, these are all the people that are just on it all the time. It's a great community here, and yeah, it's a lot of fun to run with them, and you know, glad to be able to call it too.
Yeah, they put on a great show tonight, Johnny. You made all that possible with your work in the production booth. Cannot thank you enough. Justin, awesome. This is, I think, the first time working with you. You did amazing and made it easy in the booth. I appreciate you, and we appreciate all the fans watching at home. If you're still watching, you're watching the replay, and you haven't hit that subscribe button, it doesn't cost you a single thing. We're so close to 1,000. We are at 900 subscribers, 76 left before we get to that big 1,000 number. Help us get there if you haven't already done so. And with that, we've got more racing. 3 or 4 times a week, we bring you live racing action. Tomorrow night, we've got a special event coming up from the same track, Talladega, but this time it's the Racers Elite Series, a 94-lap showdown, the Alabama 250, where you'll see 35-plus drivers in the Gen 6 NASCARs take to the high banks and what is likely going to be a wild one. We saw the Firecracker 250 last week delivered an amazing finish. Super close, I think 8/1000ths of a second. I suspect tomorrow night from Racers Elite is going to be very similar. On Monday nights, Justin, you and Johnny are calling the Spark ARCA series, which had just had an off week / special event with the dirt race at Knoxville. That was an amazing race to watch. Go back and watch the replay if you haven't. And then Wednesdays, we've got the Mythic Metals Truck Series from Spark Racing League on Slingshot Racing Media. And then normally on Thursdays, which is tonight, we do Mystic Racing League in their Xfinity series. So racing 3 or 4 times a week each week, absolutely free. Tune in, watch, subscribe so you know when all those live races are happening. Justin, any final thoughts before we set sail from Talladega?
No, man, I just want to, obviously thank Road and Plate for allowing us to come in today, call this amazing race, all these great drivers here, everybody that was in the chat, and also want to congrats Ernie Elwood on winning that diecast tonight. But man, what a great race. Just love watching good racing like this.
It was awesome. Oh, Connor Lyons just jumped in. our Slingshot Racing Media regular. Connor, you missed a great race, man. Go back and watch the replay. We hope you are doing well. Folks, that is going to do it tonight from Talladega. Again, big thanks to the Road and Plate Series for allowing us to come as outsiders and broadcast their season finale. We had a blast. More racing later on this week. Tomorrow night, catch us live from Talladega as well. Folks, thank you so much for tuning in. We hope everyone has a great Friday and a great weekend. We'll talk to y'all next week. Have a great one, folks. Good night.